under the Culture, Media, and Society department. But under that, as like the English course, it was this course called JCULP. So it's like the Japan Global Cultures program. Full 4 years, graduated, and then I think as a international student, it's still very much a Japanese university, so a lot of the support is still in Japanese. There is English support, but then sometimes you'll come and then the seminars are in like Japanese and you still don't understand a lot. So for like job hunting, it was super confusing, and I was kind of like I still had no idea what to do.
Right.
So I graduated and I still was doing job hunting. Decided to do convert my visa into a designated activities visa. And then for a while I was still kind of like, maybe I should just go home. Maybe I should just stay here. Then reached the point where it's like, what a waste of like 4 years,
Right.
What a waste of 4 years. But then it's also like, okay, so what do we do from here? I figured, hey, Coto has a Japanese language school finder. I was like, maybe? Good idea, maybe. And, it's more productive, I feel like. And then now, so, I'm in Toyo. It's been fun. It was like the transition itself, I don't think it was very hard, just a bit like, because again, I know that I'm like, I don't know, special case, I guess.
Yeah.
If I can call it that. And so it's just been like, it wasn't smooth, but it wasn't so rough, I feel like, especially because, I had you guys being like, it's fine. You can do this. So it was okay. I think my transition was pretty okay.
Right. Okay.
It was good, I think. I feel like here, honestly,
Really?
like Toyo,
Yeah.
just cause like, again, with the classes in Waseda, I get to choose them, so
Right.
I could see the syllabus and be like, okay, I don't want to take this if it's gonna have this, which is kind of like spoiling myself, I guess. But I did have that like safety net of being able to choose my own classes.
Right.
And Toyo does let you like also choose your classes, but because it's every day, and you definitely do have a time limit to be. You have to like, know this types of vocabulary
Right.
and by this time, or else well, not or else, but
It'll be difficult.
It will be difficult,
Yeah.
or it'll be harder on you. So there's more pressure like for yourself to like really study, to really try to understand all this grammar, but it's also like because you have a time limit, you're trying to like cram all these grammar forms in one
Right.
go. So I think it's a lot harder like this, and even your classmates, at least like not like, I think I only like 1 or 2 people speak English fluently. So if you don't get something, you really have to actually like talk to either your classmates in Japanese, because Japanese here is a like common language, and then you have to ask your teachers, and even that will be in Japanese. And they will support you as much as they can in like with the English they do know, but essentially it falls back to Japanese. And but even in like Waseda, it was essentially like a bubble, because like I still have, it was an English speaking program, so that at least 5 people will like, be able to like really talk to you in
Right.
English. So I feel like Waseda was really good in the sense that you get to expand what you want to study, but you still have a safety net of the
Right.
language. But here you're really like forced to like use the language, which I think is really good because you are in a language school. And so, and English is, even within the like different nationalities in the school, English is no longer the like base language.
Right.
So you're like, if you want to make friends, you gotta speak, you gotta think about the things you say. So I think this is more intense because there's no more safety net for you.
I see.
Yeah. She did explain that, we do have big classes, but we actually do sit down with the students every start of this quarter to actually hear out what they want to do, what their goal is, so they can adjust the classes these students should take, and then they do have a counseling period, they told me, and I think that, that was kind of helped me set my mind that like, okay, it's not like I'm going to like slip through the cracks and I'm just like another student who's gonna like study N2, because I think hearing that they had a counseling and they sat down with each student and then they even assigned a teacher to you to like really like hear out like if you needed anything, even though it wasn't related to class, you could ask them anything. Hearing that was super nice. Enough that like you're not just learning the same pace with everyone, because everyone has like different wants with the with what they want to do with the Japanese language. I have heard how like the application process went for other students, and it was a bit more rough in the sense that, you know, again, like English is some of their first language, or like English isn't their first language, but for some of the staff it's not going to be like those students' like first languages are like another secondary language, so it comes off a bit like harder to like the communication is a bit more rough, I feel like. And so I've heard that from the other students, and so having like, you know, for having Coto help me out, you know, for one, I got to narrow down into like 2 schools. If I did it alone, I don't think I kind of get overwhelmed really easily. And I would just like stop. I'm like, I'm giving up. You know, I'm not doing this. I'm not like this is too much work. Yeah. But and you know, there's actually there's so much language schools in Japan, right? I have friends who like went to ISI. I have a friend who went to like I guess Evergreen. No, Alexis is in Evergreen.
Yeah, Evergreen.
Yeah, and then so being able to narrow it down was like such a big help for like someone who gets overwhelmed really easily. Even with a visa, like the documents, I probably wouldn't really know where to start with the documents. Coto helped so much, and then you guys also helped with the translation thing.
Right.
It was so handy during immigration too, because then I was like, I don't really, like during the application, I didn't really understand why you needed it. But then it came to immigration when they were like grilling me for like, why do you want to go to language school? Right. They pulled out the Japanese like, so it was like, oh, okay, now I see. You know, like during, I probably wouldn't, like there's a lot of things I didn't understand why you guys were doing it, but you know, it did make sense like in the end, and it's like so grateful. Without it, I probably also would have just gone to the embassy, written everything in English, and then it probably would have been even harder. I'm enjoying it a lot right now. You know, it's enjoyable, it's productive, it's good for me too. Like, you know what? Having N2 can't hurt, even if I do end up going back home.
For sure. Yeah.
So like, I'm glad. I'm super grateful. It's very inspiring, low-key too. Like, so I'll get up at like 6:30, 7 the latest. Get ready, leave the house by 7:30, and I'm to get to school 9ish. 9 classes start 9:10, and then classes will start and end at 30-ish. And you know, depending on the day, you have electives too, so that's nice. I enjoy them because they're more focused, I guess. There's even no class for like job hunting, so I like that. But yeah, and then you know, after class it's like 12:20-30. I'll either eat lunch, study. If I'm not gonna study, I'll, you know, go out with some friends. For language school, I think people shouldn't be so daunted about, you know, because at least this for me, it was super daunting to have, because, how should I say? I do understand that like a large chunk of the percentage is all, like, will be people from Asia. Yeah. And so, you know, not all of them might be able to speak English, or, you know, you might feel kind of lonely or whatever. But I think it shouldn't daunt you, like, people too much, because it's actually like gonna be like one of the stepping stones of like actually learning the language. Because, you know, if you want to make friends, you gotta like talk to people. You can't really be like put off by it. Even, you know, going to language school is a very step out of your comfort zone, I feel like. So I feel like, you know, if you want to go to Japan, I think language school is also a very good way to really experience, if you like it here, how the culture works. There are teachers that will help you figure out and, you know, support you, especially with the right school. It will like guide you through the steps. So I think that if they want to. Language school is absolutely a great option. For university, you should definitely, like, while there are like Waseda, you know, there are these big schools, Waseda, Keio, Hosei, you know, Rikkyo. I think, you know, these are schools with like pretty good, I heard pretty good things about the English programs, and if they wanna go for it, they should choose a university that will definitely like suit perhaps their like, you know, no, their personality.